To start out, I'm going to show you about the MLS statuses. This is through Arizona Regional MLS. You're seeing my dashboard inside of my dashboard. So this is kind of a behind the scenes look. What we're going to do is I'll show you the different statuses and share with you what those statuses mean. Right now you can see if I put in active and coming soon, there's roughly 16,800 listings in our MLS. Now this includes everything single family home, patio homes, which patio home is like a home with a very small yard, if any. It basically just has a patio. Townhouse, which can be, sometimes people call them condos. A condo is more of a form of ownership, but a townhouse can be a single story or a two-story, may or may not be a condo. They have apartment style, Gemini, which is twin homes. A lot of times they share one wall and they sit next to each other. With shared driveways, and then there's manufactured, modular, and loft style. So what I would do for this demonstrations is I'm going to just put in single family detached. So that takes that down to 13,685, or our single families. What you can do if you're looking, especially for horse property, let's put in horse property. And just because it's zoned for horses does not necessarily mean that it's going to have a full horse setup. It just means that it's zoned that way. A lot of times people go in and they take out all the horse setup and they just want the land for whatever reason. Could be they own a construction company. Could be they just like a luxury lifestyle and they make a really tricked out backyard and they want to utilize that extra space. So a lot of different reasons that it may or may not have horse setup, and you may be the type of buyer that, wants that tricked out backyard, and you may be looking for a horse property because you like that extra land. There's a lot of, it's typically tends to be a little bit looser zoning. It's not as rigid, and not in all cases, but in many cases. So you have active and coming soon here. If you are searching on, let's say, Realtor.com or Trulia, Zillow, Redfin, any of those, some of those companies are brokers, and they will pull the information from the MLS and show you the same thing that most realtors can show you on their website. Now, if you go to our horse property website, which is, it's got a lot of different roads that will lead here, but let's use the askmichelleshelton.com. We've got it filtered by horse property. You can see horse properties by city, new listings, no HOA. So there's not all horse property. I mean, we show you everything on here, but it is more friendly if you're looking for horse property. When we do that, this is called an IDX. So if we click on horse property by city, and let's say we go to Apache Junction, for example, Apache Junction homes, there's 73 matches found, and we show you every listing. It's not just our listing, it's every listing available. We don't hide properties from people. What you won't see is what's in coming soon. So if we go to coming soon and we put in Apache Junction, so there's only 2 in coming soon that are horse property, but you would not see these properties if you are doing that search. You're not going to see those properties because they're not in the active status. Okay. Let's go back now to our search, and you'll see some of the other statuses here are UCB and CCBS. So UCB, it means that home is under contract. Currently in Apache Junction, there's only 3 horse properties under contract. And there's a reason for that, because we're in a declining market and most sellers cannot get their brain wrapped around that their home is worth so much less than it was 6 months ago. And so they're having a hard time with the price drops. And instead of pricing aggressively and getting in front of that bus, they're chasing that bus down. So there's an adjustment period, typically about a year, before people get in that mindset of, oh, this is what my house is actually worth. A lot of times people want to price their home high so there's room to negotiate. So I would say, you know, we're never afraid to put in an offer. Typically, I like to start doing that verbally. So because, you know, you can offend people too, and then they don't want to deal with you at all. But if you do it verbally, it's a little bit softer way of doing it. These homes, there used to be a status that was AWC, and it meant active with a contingency. So when a home went under contract, you have a 10-day, typically, I mean, unless they negotiate something else, but typically it's a 10-day inspection period, and that's a contingency. So we used to park our properties into AWC when it went under contract. Well, when they got rid of AWC, they brought in UCB. And so some agents are still in the habit of, when it goes under contract, they put it in UCB. And there's a reason for that. Their listings will still show up on syndications. They will still show up on the IDX sites. And agents are wanting to continue marketing that. Typically, we don't do that. We put it right to pending, because for the seller, I think it's better because it stops days on market. And if you've got somebody that is going through inspections and, you know, they take up 10 days, that's going to add 10 days to your listing. It's very, very rare that, even though it says under contract accepting backups, it's very rare that people really want to accept backups. They're like, nope, we're under contract. We're working with this one. So these still show up. You see how they're in green? They still show up as an active status. So if you're looking on Zillow, like, let's see if we can just look this house up on Zillow, and I'll show you what it looks like. It still shows an active status. And sometimes, even though they have it on there, it is a little bit challenging to see, and you think that it's still available. So it does say accepting backups here. So they do disclose it, but a lot of times people miss that and they think it's still available. So it can get very frustrating if you're searching for a home. Let's see how it shows up on Redfin. Let's see, Redfin. It shows up for sale. So it doesn't tell you, oh, it does say contingent here. So it does tell you. The seller has already accepted an offer. You can request a tour. Okay, so that's better. I think that's better. Okay, let's see how it shows up on Realtor.com. Realtor.com shows contingent. So these are still active statuses, so they're going to show up on here. Now, if we go into our coming soon and you tried to look those up, they wouldn't come up at all. So those things do not show up on any of these sites. Redfin and Zillow are now brokerages. So they're pulling information from the MLS through an IDX. Realtor.com is a marketing site. So it's what they call a syndication. So there's differences between those two things. You're going to miss opportunities if you're searching on either of those sites. You're better to get right into the MLS system so that you can see those coming soons. And we've got it set up on our website so you can search just like a realtor. So if you go here and you do search like a realtor, you can go in and create an account, and then you can, let me see if I can sign up, because I had one, but it may ask me to log in. Let me see if I can log in with it. And I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, so it will let you log in. These are going to be just featured listings. A lot of times we'll put any horse property listings we have, we'll put those there. So you can see that these are featured listings. If you go down below, you'll see featured searches. And those are searches that the agent, M&I have set up for you. If we click on All Valley Horse Property, done. We're going to take out UCB, pending and closed, residential. Dwelling type, we're going to put in single family, and then 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 27 results. What did we have over here? 13. So there's something there that I did. 3 bedroom, 3 bath, horse property. Let's see if we have horse property in there. Horse property, yes. Oh, now it's at 14. I don't know why they don't match. It seems to me they should, but interestingly enough, they don't. This is our listing. So let's say you like that property, this property. If you go back and you see the little star there, like this, you can star that property and it will save it in your portal. So then we can see it on the back side. And you can see them over on the map here. If you just hold your cursor over that, it'll pop up and show you that property. So you can kind of see it in a glance. I don't know, I kind of got off track a little bit from the, you know, these statuses here. But I think it's good information. I hope you find it good. The other one, let me go back to that because we have active status, which just means it's for sale. There's no contracts on it. Realtors have 3 days to change that. And it's not business days, it's just 3 days. So if they put it under contract on a Friday, by Monday, they need to have that status changed. From active to one of these under contract statuses. In coming soon, they don't even have to have pictures, but they do have to have pictures in the first 5 days once it goes active, and it has to be a front curb view, at least one picture. Also, if it's pending, that means it's under contract, they're working with someone, and then obviously closed means it has closed escrow. The difference between working in the MLS and working in Zillow is that you can see those coming soon if you have created let me see, I'll show you. If you've created a portal, see how it says 0, you're not seeing any in there. But what you can do is once you create a portal, if you set up alerts, it will actually allow you to see those properties. And that's the only way you can see them, other than, you know, we can tell you about them, but we can't even email them to you unless you're on an automated email. I hope that this is helpful with the MLS, you know, using the MLS over using Zillow or Trulia. It is a little bit, I hate to say it, but it's a little bit antiquated from the standpoint of, you know, looking as nice as some of these other sites, because these sites have a really nice look and feel to them. They're very user friendly. So I understand why people use them. The challenge is you're not seeing everything when you use them. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. This website is a little more cumbersome. If you'd like to get into this system and work with it, then just go to askmichelleshelton.com, click on Search Like a Realtor, and create your account. We really value the opportunity to earn your business. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe our channel. And then if you'd like to receive regular notifications on any new videos, make sure you click that bell. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.